Hi, Jasmine. I almost forgot to do your tag this week. These questions are difficult. I agree with Leanne. I don't know how I'm going to answer some of them. Question one, something you like that you can't afford. I'm going to go with, where to start. But okay, for an answer, I'm going to go with a greenhouse. I always thought it would be nice to have my own greenhouse. I always loved, walking around. I'm so lame. But I always love walking around in garden centers and the way greenhouses smell, the earth, the flowers, the plants, the fertilizers. It's always warm and summer like, spring like. Oh, anyway, a greenhouse. A place where I could keep my plants throughout the winter, um, not have to go out into the weather, especially the cold. A place where I could work on my plants and not be out in the cold or in the rain or the elements. Um, there's lots of things. A boat would be fun to have. Um, uh, Making additions to my house. I always thought it would be nice to have a screened-in porch. Um, something else that I that I think would be nice to have. Whenever I hear about tornadoes, and tornado season is coming. We're not supposed to get many tornadoes here in Door County, but they happen. Um, and I don't have a basement here. I had a basement at home in Waukegan. I don't have a basement here. So I thought it kind of would be nice to have one of those tornado shelters. Um, yeah, that would be kind of nice too. But so many things. So many things. Question two. I feel uncomfortable answering this question. The question is something you've done for somebody but received no thanks. I'm such a Catholic boy. Uh, in the church, uh, in the gospel, they always, Jesus said, don't let your right hand know what your left hand is doing, or is it don't let your left hand know what your right hand, or something like that. But you're not supposed to do things for the reward. You're not supposed to do things to get thanks because the things you do in private, your heavenly Lord sees them, and your reward will be in heaven. But if you do things for the praise, for the reward, then you've already received your reward. So I tend to think like that. I tend to think of, I don't know, if I do something for someone, I should not expect. I don't know. A thank you is something different. Yeah, you should get a thank you, but um, I don't know. I can't think of when I have done something for someone and not gotten a thanks. I come up blank. The third question's another difficult one. Would you rather live out in space or under the sea? I can see advantages and disadvantages for both. First of all, you can't breathe in either places, Jasmine. Um, what are you talking about under the sea? Are you talking about on the sea floor? The pressure is so great down there that it would crush you. Plus, it's dark and it's cold. You can't breathe. Um, Up in space, you can't breathe. It's very cold. It's very dark. You're floating around. You have no firm footing. So I don't really understand how to make my decision. If I had to choose, I'd probably go with space just because the idea of living under the sea is somehow claustrophobic. Where the space, I don't get that sense of claustrophobia. Anyway, if I had to choose, I would say space. Neither one really strikes me as that appealing. What would your entrance song be if you were a wrestler? Now, this is hysterical. Well, what makes me laugh is the thought of Leanne being a wrestler. That's quite an amusing thought. I can't really think of a tough fight song off the top of my head. Maybe I just thought of something. Maybe Aaron Copland's "Fanfare for the Common Man." That would be a good one. My first thought was Paul McCartney's "If You Want It, Here It Is, Come and Get It. Make your mind up fast." That was my first thought, but now maybe I'll go with "Fanfare for the Common Man." The last one is a good one. How do you handle arguments? Actually, I do not like the way I handle arguments because I'm a little bit of a hothead. I explode. Now, I don't mean in violence. I don't attack anybody or anything like that verbally. I and I can't always control what comes out of my mouth, and afterwards I very often feel bad about the things that I said because I know I can be very sharp, brutal, unkind, mean. I go for the jugular when I'm really mad or ticked off by something. Um, and I usually say things that I regret later and leave the room. So that's the way I react. I think that's the last question. I'm going to continue on with Jasmine's video to make sure, but I think that's the last question.